D2 Word Life here with Riptides.
No, it's D2 Barbie Life.
No,
Yes.
no, you were the one that probably grew up playing with Barbie dolls,
No.
which is why you're weird right now. Anyway,
No, I burnt them.
is it sad I can actually believe that statement, knowing how you are now?
Eh.
And today, we are reviewing yet another classic pay-per-view, and this week, which is Backlash 2004. This was my pick this week, and this event took place on April 18th, 2004 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, at the Rexall Palace. I probably butchered the hell out of that name. But the attendance for this, or Rexall Place, I probably butchered the name out of it anyway, I don't care. The attendance for this freaking event was 13,000. Commentators were Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, and ring announcer was Lillian Garcia. And I know you were sad we didn't review a SmackDown pay-per-view this week, considering you wanted to hear your boy Michael Cole.
No.
Because you know you miss his commentary.
No, I know you did.
Nah. Anyway, before the actual pay-per-view, there was a Sunday Night Heat match where Val Venus defeated Matt Hardy. Oh yeah, speaking of Matt Hardy, why don't you briefly tell him what we did last night at time of recording?
Oh, we went and saw TNA, and I'm wearing my new Hardy shirt right now.
Yeah, that was an awesome show. Actually got to see the Hardy Boys live in person for their live Impact show. So yeah. Anyway, we see the opening high package featuring the main event and the hardcore Intercontinental title match. Then we see the opening pyro go off. The commentators welcome us to the show, and then we get into the first matchup of the evening, which was a Battle of the Carolinas here, as we saw Ric Flair take on Shelton Benjamin. Right? Yeah. And, Ric Flair was one half the World Tag Champions at this time. And, of course, Shelton Benjamin from South Carolina, Ric Flair from North Carolina. That's why I said it was a Battle of the Carolinas here. Yeah, and even freaking Jim Ross mentioned that on commentary during this match.
Yep. Well, they also said that it was teacher versus student, so...
Yeah, and this whole match came about because Shelton Benjamin got 2 lucky victories over Triple H in the weeks leading up to this show.
They weren't lucky. They were skill.
Well, one was via countout because of a distraction, and the other one was because of a countout.
Does not matter.
But yeah, I would say the action in the ring between the two, it was more like back and forth. None of them had the advantage for very long, of course. Near the start of the match, when Shelton Benjamin got in control, he did kind of mock Ric Flair with a little, woo motion. Right? And of course, Flair fought back, and the whole time they were thinking, oh yeah, Jerry Lawler was making jokes, saying stuff like, oh yeah, Ric Flair's like the teacher, he needs to teach Shelton Benjamin a lesson, stay after school and give him a detention and all that shit in this match. And I'm thinking, what the heck are we even talking about? And what kind of school is this? The one that teach Steiner math. Apparently. Right?
Steiner math. There was no Steiner professor there.
Yeah, well, I think you graduated from Steiner Math Academy at one point.
Yes, I passed Steiner Math 101.
But anyway, oh yeah, and I think it's funny that when Shelton Benjamin got in control, near the end of the match, Ric Flair got all frustrated. went on to the outside and grabbed a steel chair, and they're like, "Hey." And Jerry Lawler was making jokes saying, "Yeah, that's a teaching aid." Of course, the referee took the chair away. I think freaking it was at this point when Flair was a dick to Shelton's Benjamin's getting the freaking advantage, locking in the figure four, but Benjamin reversed it. Or got to the ropes, either one. But anyway, after some more back and forth here, which I can't freaking do it justice here at the start of the match, Flair got desperate, was in the corner, Flair pulled out a pair of brass knuckles. And of course, before Flair could even use it, Benjamin splashed Flair from behind and went up to the top rope to perform the diving clothesline, and Benjamin got the 3 count over Flair here. Yeah,
Yep.
Your thoughts on this one?
Ric Flair failed at using the power of the punch.
Of course, when the brass knuckles were brought out, freaking Jerry Lawler on commentary made jokes saying, "What, Flair doesn't need that kind of a teaching aid, what the heck?" Right? But it was all for naught anyway, but your thoughts on this one?
It was decent.
Wasn't the best match that either person had in their career, but it was something. Right?
Yep.
I think this match was more used as, try to push Shelton Benjamin further up the card with a victory over a legit legend like Ric Flair. Right.
Most likely.
I mean, it was like a couple months after this where Shelton Benjamin would win the Intercontinental Championship and hold on to that title for several months. So, they were trying to push Benjamin to the main event scene, but it never really materialized with these victories. You know what I mean?
Well, they had him go for the world title a couple of times and he failed. So they just stuck him in the tag team and mid-card division.
So yeah, I thought it was alright for what it was. Like I said, neither man had the advantage for very long in this match. It was mostly just back and forth action. Like, one would do a move, gets reversed. The other would do a couple moves, gets reversed.
Well, until Shelton Benjamin went to ECW and he won the ECW championship at the later on.
Yeah, but even then, I don't remember that exactly, but even then, let's face it, ECW, when it was branded in the WWE, they never really considered the ECW championship as a real world title.
Yeah, but that's where he got his gold standard from.
Yeah. I mean, come on, let's face it. In the later days of ECW was pretty much in the dang toilet in the WWE, especially when Do-Rag Vince held the championship. Which we still need to watch that match and review just for the fucking comedy of it. Right?
Yes.
And of course, the next match on the card. Wait, did they do it? I think they interviewed, like, Randy Orton at some point. I think it was before this next match, talking about his hardcore match.
Yeah.
Or no holds bar match against Foley, or hardcore no holds bar. It's pretty much the same thing. We go on to the next match, which we all know was your favorite match of the night, and it was Tajiri taking on your boy, Jonathan Coachman.
He's not my boy, he's your boy.
Yeah, and this feud started when Tajiri was drafted to Raw due to the 2004 draft. And Jonathan Coachman walked into the freaking locker room and was like, "Hey, Tajiri, what's up?" Missed to the face. Alright?
Yep.
And basically, Coach was looking for revenge, and whew, at the beginning, Coach was actually holding his own against freaking Tajiri's strikes, but because I don't like giving him credit, but I don't like giving Coach credit or anything, but freaking I thought it was just going to be a dominant freaking Tajiri freaking dominating Coachman here, or the coach here. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking Tajiri got the upper hand, including locking in the tarantula at one point, and he even hit a missile drop kick to the back to the freaking coach who was in the tree of woe at one point in the turnbuckle. Right?
Yeah.
But the short match came to an end when Tajiri was going for the freaking kick, only for Garrison Cade to come out, interfere in the match, hot-shotting Tajiri over the top rope, and your boy freaking hit the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up for the 3 count, to get the win. And you were really happy when your boy Jonathan Coachman won this match.
No, I was not. He didn't deserve to win that match. He didn't deserve to win any of his matches, really.
Yeah, your thoughts on this one?
To me, that was the weakest match of the night.
What you talking about? You were messaging me that when we watched this saying, yep, that was a 5 out of 5 for you.
No, that was you.
No. Because
Yes,
we all know the coach was your boy back then, just like Michael Cole is now.
Nope.
And of course, after that waste of time match, that's what I call it. We go to the next match tonight, which was a handicap match. It was Chris Jericho taking on Christian and Trish Stratus. And this whole story was the love triangle story between Jericho and Christian over Trish Stratus, which resulted in those two facing each other at WrestleMania 20, which Christian won, and then Trish Stratus turned on Jericho.
That's when Jericho called him the creepy little bastard.
And Stratus was like, I'm out of your league. I was Babe of the Year. And Jericho was like, wasn't Babe the name of a talking pig? Making all those jokes. Right?
Yep.
Including calling Trish a filthy, dirty, disgusting trash bag hoe. I'm like, I know that was Jericho's stick back then, but I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, that's stuff we won't hear today for 500, Alex.
Yep.
So yeah, Jericho made his entrance, Christian and Trish made their entrances, and the match was on. Jericho got the advantage over Christian early, and they went after Trish only for Christian to freaking fight back. And for the majority of this match, it was mostly Jericho and Christian being the legal men. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, Jericho got the advantage at one point. Teased like he was going to lock Trish Stratus in the walls of Jericho, but Christian stopped it near the end. But Jericho ultimately got the win after executing a Enziguri on the freaking Christian after he threw Christian into Stratus, taking her out of the match. Right?
Yep.
And I know I don't go into a whole lot of detail. I mean, I'm kind of saving that for one certain match on this card, but yeah, Jericho got revenge for WrestleMania, got the win. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it was a good match. Did Jericho get even? Yes.
So yeah, Jericho got his revenge for WrestleMania 20 at this one. And I think that was kind of the end of the rivalry, unless they had a match against each other on Raw, which would technically be the tiebreaker back then, but I really don't remember.
No, they had one more match where Jericho had where they had a mixed tag between each other, Jericho and another diva versus Christian and Trish.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was okay. All three of them obviously had better matches, but this one was what it was, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we go on to the next match for the Women's Championship. Finally, a championship match taking place here at this event, which was Women's Champion Victoria defending against Lita. And both women made their entrance, and I gotta freaking emphasize this right now. Listening to commentary for this match was kind of cringe. Jerry Lawler level of cringe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, why? Because Jerry Lawler brought up the fact that, yeah, I remember when Lita used to wrestle wearing a thong. then he goes, "Hey JR, do you know if freaking Lita still wears a thong under her freaking ring attire?" And Jim Ross pretty much just gave him the weird eye, be like, "Yeah, why me of all people? Good old JR would know that information. I have no idea." Right?
It's, yeah.
Sounded a little cringe, but either way, that was a time period back then on commentary for women's matches. Right?
Yeah. Well, this is also pre-Psycho Victoria, because when she turned heel, she was a lot better.
It's like, yeah, I mean, she did have her one psycho run in 2002 to 2003, but I think she got more psychotic during her second heel run in 2004. 2004 or 2005, somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
But either way, both women didn't really hold the advantage over each other. Both were actually faces of fan favorites, so the crowd was kind of split on who they wanted to win this match. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Lita freaking went for I remember at one point Lita went for the freaking, went for a moonsault. I think Victoria rolled out of the way, but she still got some of the impact. Right?
Yeah.
From the move, but it obviously wasn't enough to end the match. Right?
Yep.
And you know, this match wasn't very long, but they put a lot in what the time slot they were given. I give them that between each other. It was like back and forth like the first contest with not a whole lot of highlights, but you know, it's not like one was dominating the other in a boring match. You know what I mean? Like the moonsault from Lita was a highlight, but even though it ultimately missed, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and the end of the match came when Lita went for whatever move she was going for, but Victoria reversed. I think she was going for a body slam or a power slam or something. Lita reversed into an inside cradle to get the 3 count to retain the championship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then after the matchup, Molly Holly and Gail Kim showed up and attacked both Lita and Victoria after the match, setting up their rivalry still at the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this. It was before this women's championship match. We had another backstage segment. It was Eugene in the back. And what did he do in the backstage area, if you remember?
Went to the women's locker room.
Yeah, and what was he looking at?
Gail Kim.
Yeah, he was looking at a Divas magazine and stumbled in the women's locker room, making it all awkward, right?
Yep.
And then you had Regal come in escorting or telling him to get out, and he just stood there and freaking just walked, and all of a sudden he just gets yelled at saying, "Get out of here!" Right?
Yep.
Which I'm like, okay, as controversial as Eugene character was, I found that somewhat funny, but we know for a fact that's sketch we won't see today, right?
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, but the reason I've been so quick on these matches, the first initial matches, even though some were alright, back and forth, is because I'm kind of been wanting to talk about this match. That's why I picked this event out, and that's the hardcore match for the Intercontinental Championship. Right?
Yeah.
And you know, this whole rivalry started between Intercontinental Champion Randy Orton and Mick Foley, even before the year prior, before WrestleMania 20. Mick Foley walking out, Foley getting spat in the face. Right? And then they had their handicap match at WrestleMania 20, which The Rock and Foley lost to Evolution, as we know. Right?
Yeah.
And Mick Foley was like, you know what? Did cut a little promo on Randy Orton saying, well, went back. It's like, brought back his hardcore style, challenging after he challenged freaking Orton to a no holds barred match or a hardcore match. Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, I looked back at tapes and I was thinking to myself, yeah, being hardcore is is freaking loving the fans so much that you were willing to put your body through ungodly amounts of pain. But he goes, I look back and it's none of the weapons that made me hardcore. It was my eyes. Talking about his sick, sadistic side, right?
Yeah.
And Mick Foley also said in this promo leading up to this match, saying, if I was Randy Orton, I would be scared of what this guy is going to do to me, knowing that he hates my fucking guts worse than the devil himself, basically, is what he was saying. Right?
Yeah.
And that's when freaking Mick Foley went into Cactus Jack mode, destroying the whole set with Barbie, the barbed wire bat. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Randy Orton made his freaking goddamn entrance first, followed by Mick Foley with his bat wrapped in barbed wire, and Randy Orton had a 2x4 with barbed wire, with a little bit of barbed wire on it. And I'm just thinking to myself, is that Barbie from Wish that Orton's got? During his entrance, right?
No, that was
that was Timu.
No, that was he had a 2x4, so he had a barbed lumber.
Barbed lumber, right? But either way, it didn't matter because before Orton could even use it, the fucking barbed wire, his little spool of barbed wire came off of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, whoever wrapped that did a fucking bad job, right?
Yep.
And of course, the match started with freaking Foley, oh yeah, Evolution was banned from ringside during this match too, so there's no interference whatsoever, right? In theory, which there wasn't.
Because Evolution was banned.
Yep. And, freaking, they went on the outside to start the match. Freaking, Orton picked up Dominic, the trash can, tried to block Foley's shots, but to no avail. But Orton got the upper hand a little bit on the outside. Right?
Yeah.
With a couple of freaking shots with a freaking other weapon, right?
Yeah.
It was a cookie sheet off the head or something, right? But eventually these two made their way back into the inside, and inside the ring, and what other highlights did we see before, the one spot? I think Foley freaking eventually took the barbed wire bat and nailed Orton with it. Right?
Yeah.
And at one point, freaking Orton got the barbed wire bat right between the eyes, busting him open. And even Jerry Lawler was freaking out, saying, there goes Orton's mauling career. By the time he's done, by the time he's retired, he's going to look like Mick Foley. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then we seen the spot where Foley raked the barbed wire into Orton's head in the freaking turnbuckles. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, Orton busted open, battered, bloody now. He eventually got the upper hand, but only for a short, with more weapon shots, a low blow, but freaking still couldn't get the job done. I remember at one time, at one point in this match, another spot that stood out to me was, oh yeah, this wasn't Mick Foley, this was Cactus Jack we're talking about, right?
Yeah, no, this was a darker incarnation of. This was his third incarnation of himself.
Yeah, and then freaking Jack used a chair on Orton, putting him down.
The first one, Mankind. Second one, Dude Love.
Third one, Cactus Jack.
Third one was Cactus Jack, which was darker and crazier.
Yeah, and obviously you're referring to Mick Foley's WWE career. Outside of WWE, he was always Cactus Jack first. Obviously,
yep.
Right? And of course, more barbed wire use. At one point, freaking Cactus Jack had freaking Orton down, and Cactus Jack got an idea. A sick, sadistic idea. So Cactus Jack freaking picked up the barbed wire bat, set it between freaking Orton's legs and freaking delivered a freaking leg drop onto him. Right?
Yep.
So basically, Cactus Jack was a dick to Orton's RKO's, and he was trying to make sure Orton never had kids either.
No, he
Using barbed
punctured his
wire.
RKO's.
He pretty much crushed him under barbed wire. Right?
No, he punctured them.
Yes. And of course, eventually Orton got the freak. And of course, Mick Foley Jack got another idea. He goes, you know what? I'm gonna take some freaking lighter fluid. And freaking
No, it wasn't lighter fluid, it was gasoline.
He goes, oh, I'm gonna take gasoline and freaking dump it all over this freaking barbed wire bat and set it alight. As soon as he got the lighter out, Eric Bischoff came out saying, Foley, yeah, you go ahead and you light that, but if you do, not only will you lose the match by forfeit, the freaking firehouse come out and end Backlash and stop the show. Which may or may not have been which may or may not have been true, but you never know. Certain arenas have their own freaking rules of what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Probably lighting shit on fire was something you couldn't do there, right?
Yep.
So if I was like, fuck it, continue bringing the fight to Orton, but Orton eventually battled back. Yep. Orton battled back, nailing Foley with a bat, taking him down, and then there was like a box sitting right there in the corner of the ring, and Orton was like, I got an idea. Let me look in this box, right? Looks back, and what this freaking Orton pick out? He picked out a freaking, freaking
bag of tacks.
Yeah, bag that had tacks in it, so.
You think that's where Abyss got his idea?
Maybe. So Orton took that bag of thumbtacks, dumped it all over the ring, and was like, you know what? I got an idea. I'm a RKO Cactus Jack right into the thumbtacks. And right when he attempted the RKO, freaking Jack reversed it, and Orton went back first into the thumbtacks.
Oh no, he tried to do it, and Mick Foley just literally threw his ass off of him, and he landed in the freaking bag into the freaking thumbtacks.
Yeah.
His elbow, his back,
his hands,
his ass crack,
his fingers, right?
His fingers. Everything was. That's why he was walking weird.
He probably got some in his freaking thighs as well, right?
No, he did.
And of course, the dramatic selling from Jerry Lawler, too. Freaking, that's. I'm like, yeah, someone give Lawler a freaking Oscar for being able to talk during that cringe shocking moment. Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course, after that, freaking Foley went for a roll-up, and Orton barely kicked out, being in enough pain. I'm surprised he even got his shoulder up, to be honest. Right?
Yep.
And then Orton slithered his way to the back. He was telling Foley, hold on, wait a minute, right?
Yep.
He literally went to the back where I think freaking like some personnel in the back or trainer's back was literally taking the thumbtacks out of his fucking hand and fingers real quick so he can actually use it.
And out of his back mostly, because he had a whole bunch in his back, and when he came out, he didn't have as many.
Yeah, they probably got several to try to briefly get most out of them, right? I mean, how would you like to take a thumbtack bump like that? I know I wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Foley was followed behind, but yeah, they fought right back out again, and freaking Foley dumped Orton off the stage through a couple tables that was set up by the set up next to the entrance ramp. Right?
Yep.
And you would think the referee just call the match off and be like, no, we're done. This is too fucked up, but nah. But no, freaking, they tried to tell Jack to walk away or just chill for a minute. Jack ended up attacking the officials and jumped off the stage himself to deliver an elbow to Randy Orton as well.
Yep.
And eventually they made their way back into the ring. Yeah, they made their way back to the ring where Orton got the advantage. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention barbed wire bed. I just remember that was after the 2x4 fire attempt too that Foley went face first into a couple times. Right?
Yeah.
And freaking Orton just, at one point, just took the freaking barbed wire bed and just freaking shoved it down on Foley's body too. That was after the 2x4 barbed wire lighter fire spot, attempted fire spot. And before the thumbtacks. That's why I just remembered from this match. But either way, either way there were still devastating spots, regardless in order we talk about, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, the end of the match came when Orton nailed an RKO. I think Foley kicked out, but Orton was like, you know what? Barbed wire bat. Orton nailed the RKO on a barbed wire bat after busting Foley open with it earlier before the RKO attempts. Right?
Yep.
And Orton got the 3 count, but yeah, your thoughts on this one?
It was a good match. It was very brutal.
Is it bad that I could see you on your TV being like, we need more violence? And at the end of the match, you're like, I am satisfied because it was violent enough.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
That's why I often call Backlash 04 a one-match show. It basically is with this one, and yeah, a lot of people say that this was the match that made Orton into a legit main eventer, or at least the start of him becoming a legit main eventer, and I actually have to agree with that. Right?
Yeah.
And there's no discussion. There's no discussing like, oh, did Orton have better matches, or did Foley have better matches? You could arguably say yes, but this one is on their bucket list of good matches that they had to. Right?
Yeah.
Now with that out of the way, I'm going to let you talk about the tag team match that followed, which, anything following this match, I'm like, good luck. Right? We had the Hurricane and Rosie taking on La Resistance.
Yes. Fucking Hurricane and Rosie came out and he had his fucking superhero in training.
So you're telling me Roman Reigns' brother was shit?
Fuck off.
Well,
he was better than Roman.
Well, that's what superhero in training abbreviated means, or acronym means, is damn. Right?
So, the
match
La Resistance comes out.
Yeah.
Or La Resistance came out first. I forget which one. I didn't give a shit. Care about La Resistance at all.
We all know Rob Conway and Sylvain Grenier were your boys.
No, they were not.
But yeah, it was your basic average tag match. The action came secondary, basically, is what I'm saying.
Freaking Hurricane and Rosie had the upper hand the entire thing. Freaking Hurricane, Rosie and Hurricane used the tag team where Rosie was holding him and freaking Hurricane did a guillotine leg drop off the top rope.
Yeah, and then and who did we see come out during this whole match?
And freaking then Eugene comes out and runs down to the ring, and he was fascinated by La Resistance flag.
And so were you.
No, I was not. But he started rubbing up against it, putting it on his head.
Why am I saving the cringe matches for you to talk about? I have no idea. Because you're a cringe person. Sometimes.
Yes,
this shit's up your alley.
Yes, he was rubbing it up and down his body. Oh yes, he was saying, oh yes.
And at one point, both the Hurricane and Rosie lost their masks. I noticed that too.
No, Hurricane didn't lose his mask. Rosie did.
Well, Hurricane just took his mask off near the end of the match for some reason I don't know. Revealing Gregory Helms wearing freaking face paint, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, how'd this match end?
Fucking, Eugene saw a hurricane fly off the damn top, right? He's like, oh, that's gonna be fun. Let me run the ropes. The entire damn match, fucking Rosie just looking like, huh?
Like, what the hell's going on here? Right?
Freaking La Resistance is also looking going, huh?
Yep.
So they were like wrestling in like half the ring when freaking Eugene is just running back and forth, 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 back and forth.
And the whole time I was just cringing at this shit.
And then fucking Hurricane and Rosie did another tag team move and pinned Rob Conway.
Yeah, Hurricane pinned Ron Conway after the Eye of the Hurricane maneuver after some double team, but it doesn't matter how this match really ended. No one really cares. It's a forgettable tag match. Yeah, your thoughts on this? And you were just mad that your boys La Resistance lost.
Nope.
But anyway, your thoughts on this weird match? Because I'm just like, yeah, I can chalk this one up to another weak match. Honestly, right?
Yep.
Anyway, the next match that came out, which is a semi-main, was Edge versus Kane next, and this all came out when Edge made his return for the first time in like 13 months during the 2004 draft. And the first thing he did was spear Eric Bischoff, but I guess in training he broke his hand because his hand was in a cast, right?
Yeah.
And well, yeah, and this was his first match back after his first neck surgery, fixing his broken neck the first time.
Yeah.
And this was Edge's first wrestling pay-per-view appearance since the 2003 Royal Rumble, and his first pay-per-view appearance overall since the backstage assault at the 2003 No Way Out event.
Yep.
That was done to right him out of action to start with. Right? And we discussed that one to the T already in that review. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, Kane came out first, followed by Edge. Edge obviously was the fan favorite. Kane was obviously booed. Obvious. And this wasn't too long before we got probably the second worst angle that Kane was in, but we'll talk about that after this match, because that's part of the aftermath, right?
Yeah.
But Edge and Kane were battling back and forth, but Kane eventually got the upper hand, focusing on freaking Edge's freaking broken hand, which the stipulation was placed if Edge used the cast as a weapon, not only would he be disqualified, he would also be suspended indefinitely. Right?
Yeah.
But eventually Edge fought back. Freaking Edge, at one point near the end of the match, freaking tried to perform the spear on Kane, but Kane avoided it, and he hit the referee by accident. Right?
Yeah.
Which with the referee down, though, later on, actually freaking gave Edge the opening he needed to strike Kane in the head with the freaking cast on his hand, followed by a spear to actually pick up the win. Right?
Yep.
Your thoughts on this? Right?
It was an okay match.
It was neither man's best, I can tell you that right now. But for Edge's first match back in over a year at this point, it was decent for what it was. Right?
Yeah.
Would those two have better matches against each other later on in their career following this? Yes. Right.
Yep.
But yeah, at the time, everyone was just happy to see Edge back, and I'm just like, thinking to myself, and I thought to myself, with the power of hindsight, if the fans were happy back then to see Edge return, oh boy. Oh boy, that was nothing compared to his return in 2020, am I right? After 9 years away due to a neck injury again.
Yep.
So after that, we go to the main event of Backlash 2004, which was a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was champion Chris Benoit defending against Shawn Michaels and Triple H in the WrestleMania 20 main event rematch. Right?
Yep.
And apparently, and since they were in his hometown, of course, Chris Benoit was the big fan favorite going into this match. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, some standouts to me is like, freaking Triple H and Michaels were double teaming Benoit, then freaking Michaels and Triple H went at it for a little while near the beginning, but it was alright for what it was. It's like Benoit got back in at one point, the referee got taken out, right?
Yeah.
But before that spot that I'm about to talk about, it's like Triple H and Benoit were fighting on the outside. I think Michaels was going for like a big splash from the top rope on the both Triple H and Benoit, but they moved out of the way. He ain't nothing but table. Alright?
Yep.
So now the announce table is down. And of course, as I mentioned later on, the referee got knocked out. And Michaels was back in the ring at this point after stopping a submission attempt or a pinfall attempt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but notice during this that there was a sign in the crowd that said, "I forgive you, Sean," on a sign of the Canadian flag. I'm like, I wonder what that fan's trying to reference. Certainly nothing controversial, am I right? Yeah, and then freaking, and of course, Michaels freaking just being a dick because they were in Canada, decided, I'm gonna lock a sharpshooter on the freaking, Benoit here. And which referee did we see come out at that particular time?
Hebner. Your favorite ref, Earl Hebner.
Yeah, and then the "You Screw Brett" chant freaking started up once again, right?
Yep.
And all I could think about, can you imagine if Earl Hebner did it again and he just rang the bell right there, giving the title to Michaels instead? How shitty would that be? I'd be like, they did it again! Fuck! Right?
Yep.
But no, that didn't happen. I think the fans in that building would have rioted if that was the finish. Am I right?
Most likely.
Yeah, but either way, freaking Benoit got the ropes, or Triple H broke up the sharpshooter, but every time Triple H got the advantage in here, freaking he would get knocked out. The ending of the match came out when Triple H went to attack Michaels with a sledgehammer, Triple H attacked Michaels with a sledgehammer, but Benoit ended up throwing Triple H to the outside, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Benoit returned the favor by locking in the sharpshooter on to Shawn Michaels, which is poetic justice, if you ask me, right?
Yeah.
And despite Triple H, he was too slow at getting back in the ring to break up the submission hold. And right in front of Triple H, Michaels tapped out, thus giving Benoit the win to retain the World Championship. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the crowd went crazy celebrating Benoit's win at the end. And I'm just thinking to myself, just wait 3 years. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Well, you forgot about the backstage segment when after the match of Foley and Orton when Orton was getting escorted out to go to the hospital to get the rest of the attacks taken out. Triple H said, "Oh yeah, you're not just a legend killer. You're now a legend."
Basically,
which would come into effect yet again when he would be the youngest world heavyweight champion.
Yep. So yeah, that happened like backstage before this match, but yeah, your thoughts on this triple threat match? I know I didn't go into every spot in detail, just the ones that stuck out to me. Your thoughts on this triple threat main event that Benoit won again?
It was good.
Yeah, I thought it was decent for what it was.
Are people going to criticize it? Are people going to criticize it because I found it great because I like Benoit? Most likely. Do I give a flying fuck? No, I don't.
Well, I'm going to give a little bit. Well,
he did something heinous, but that does not define who he was.
Well, I'm gonna get a little bit of criticism, not because of Benoit winning or anything like that. I'm just, in my opinion, I just think the original match at WrestleMania 20 was a little bit better than the rematch. That's all I have to say about it. Right?
That's your opinion, and you are wrong about it.
Yeah, just like how your freaking pick for next week is fucked up, but I'm gonna deal with it anyway.
It's not fucked.
Yeah. We'll see about that, but we'll get to that when we get to that announcement. Yeah, I just think the WrestleMania 20 match was a little bit better. This one was decent enough. I mean, it wasn't crap, it wasn't boring. It wasn't, a squash. But when it comes to those three, I think of the WrestleMania 20 encounter first. Before I think of the Backlash encounter. And yeah, this was still a great main event, and this is a match, this is like one of the only two matches I would recommend from this card. To go back and see if you can handle watching a Benoit match. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. No one's forcing you to do that.
Watch it. Watch all Benoit matches. They were great. Yes, he did something heinous outside of the ring by taking his life and his family. Yes. But that does not define a fucking person and his career just because of that. So everyone get off your freaking moral high horses when you're going to say, oh, but he was crap, blah, 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 blah. Fuck that. He was a great wrestler, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you already know my opinion about that, but, I judge his matches fairly. I'm not an asshole. Right? I have to say, we don't have to say that every time we review a Benoit match, but we just make that clear known. Right?
Uh-huh.
So with that being, yeah, I thought this was it was a great match. I just think the WrestleMania 20 encounter was slightly better, but this one was great in its own right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our review for Backlash 2004, and now we go on to what I always call our favorite portion of the review here, and that's our rating system for each match plus our final grade. Shelton Benjamin defeating Ric Flair. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
3.5.
Your boy, the coach, Jonathan Coachman, defeating Tajiri, I gave that a solid 1, and that's being nice. A 1 out of 5.
Half.
Yeah, and that 1 is based on the offense that Jerry gave out. I didn't care about the coach in that match at all. Right? Chris Jericho defeating Christian and Trish in the handicap match. I gave it a good, solid 3.5 out of 5.
No.
Would you agree?
For which match?
The handicap match. Jericho defeating Christian and Trish.
It was a 4.
Yeah, I gave it 3.5. Victoria defeating Lita to retain the women's championship. It felt average, so I gave it 3 out of 5.
Mm, 3.5.
Yep. Randy Orton defeating Cactus Jack in that hardcore match to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, I gave that one 5 out of 5 because if I gave it a lower score than that, everyone would be ticked off at me. So, yeah, especially talking about it in detail like I did.
Yeah.
So, what would you give that, right? What would you give the hardcore match?
4.5.
He said 4.5. Get out your torches and pitchforks.
Could have been better. I'm sorry.
How could it be better than what we got? That was fucking brutal. Anyway, whatever.
It just could have been better. That's all my statement is.
It's like whatever. It's just your opinion. My opinion is it's a full solid 5. Right. Full solid 5 out of 5. The Hurricane and Rosie defeating La Resistance. I was being nice here with a little bit of action that I could see without when the camera wasn't focusing on Eugene. I gave it 1.25 out of 5.
You gave it a 1?
Yeah, I gave it 1.25, so 1.25 or 1.25 out of 5. Right. So yeah, 1.25 out of 5. What did you give it?
3.
Edge defeating Kane. I gave that one a 3 out of 5.
3.5.
And in the main event where we saw Chris Benoit defeat Triple H and Shawn Michaels to retain the World Heavyweight Championship in that Triple Threat WrestleMania rematch, I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
4.
And my personal final grade for Backlash 2004 is a C+.
B minus.
Yep. Yeah, and if there's any matches I'd recommend too, obviously the Randy Orton and Cactus Jack hardcore match. And if you can watch a Benoit match with no issue, no one's pressuring you, you don't have to if you don't want to. But another one I'd recommend would be the Triple Threat main event between Benoit, Triple H, and Michaels.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's our opinion on our final grades, respective grades for Backlash 2004. Well, I already know what your next pick is for next week, and I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm just letting you know that right off the bat, since I already know what it is, but you know, just so the viewers know, or the listeners know what it is, what are we going to be reviewing next week? He's laughing because he knows I hate this event. It's an event that I've been dreading to fucking watch and review. Because of obvious reasons.
Since next week is the anniversary of a certain superstar's demise.
I don't know why you're saying it like that. It's going to be a sad review.
For you, maybe. But it's the 26th anniversary
of this
event.
Owen
Hart passed away at Over the Edge 99.
Yeah, it's the fucking 27th freaking anniversary of that show that goes down in infamy. And yes, I know we're gonna be watching the freaking Netflix version, which obviously has all references to that incident cut out, but I'm still gonna talk about it in chronological order. I am not looking forward to that whatso fucking ever.
Yes, you are.
And I know you're only laughing. You're laughing at me. You're not laughing at what actually happened. You're laughing at the thought of making me relive that show. Just to clarify, he ain't laughing about what actually fucking happened, because that's terrible. Right?
No.
He's just laughing at my misery because he knows I fucking never wanted to review this show. And he's making me do it anyway, just like you made me fucking review Heroes of Wrestling, you asshole.
Yes.
So yeah, next week's gonna be a sad review, but I'm telling you right now, despite how well I enjoy the matches after the incident took place, in the long run it just doesn't matter, because obviously that event is still in wrestling infamy because of what happened. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I'll be in the really best of moods talking about this shit next week. But yeah, either way, I knew eventually we had to review it, and I'm just gonna look at it as I did with the Heroes of Wrestling review. Once we review it and we're done talking about it and talking about the controversies and everything and the aftermath that happened following that show, we'll never have to talk about it ever again after that. At least that's the positive way I'm looking at it. So yeah, next week we're going to be reviewing in my opinion, the number one worst WWE show ever, Over the Edge 99. Yes, King of the Ring 95 was freaking bad, but I still call it the number 2 worst WWE show, with this one being with Over the Edge 99 being number 1. I'm on record saying that, by the way. Right? So, anyway, with that being said, we will talk to you all next week. Peace.
Deuces.